when we speak of war, we're really, as we shift and really speak of post-bellum, if we want to develop that category as a category, I would argue that the key element of a theory of just war post-bellum is forgiveness. John Paul II spoke of this many times, oftentimes in his World Day of Peace. He would speak of how war is about peace. He said there must be, we don't seek war just to fight. We only go to war in order to arrive at peace. But to have that peace, we must forgive. Why? Because as we see after many wars, people have been killed, societies have been damaged, there are war reparations, there are penalties. How does someone who has been defeated in war, because war usually ends in defeat, at least in the past centuries. Today we see ongoing wars, but normally we speak of a victor and a loser. John Paul II greatly emphasized the idea of forgiveness for peace and for justice. But how does one forgive the other? How does someone who has been beaten, how does a loser forgive? Here we might go into a whole argument, a whole discussion of the need for grace. But I believe we can also speak of people who are non-Christian still having the ability to forgive, to recognize the dignity of the other, and to recognize that peace, that human peace, that living together in society, in tranquility, is a good, but that we will not be able to have that tranquility unless we forgive the other. Now, this does not happen immediately after a war ends. It takes time because we are human. And it doesn't mean forgetting. Forgiving and forgetting are two different things. We do not necessarily need to forget, but we must forgive not for the other, but for ourselves so that we can live in peace. If not, we will always be in turmoil, either individually or as a group of individuals, as a society. John Paul II, here I'm going to just read one little point he said, human justice is fragile and imperfect, subject to limitations and egoism of individuals and groups. This is critical. We're all fragile. The victor and the loser are fragile. But he says this justice must include and be completed by forgiveness, because only then can we rebuild the human relationships that are necessary, that are rooted again in natural law, that we are social beings, not just in our own society, but living here on earth with all different cultures, all different societies. We have to be able to forgive them so that we can have the tranquility to develop our own culture, to educate our children, to support our families. This is what war is about. This is why we say we aren't seeking war for itself. The only just war seeks peace.